Hey, have you ever started to think about how we do this? How we take these really simple, everyday words and kind of snap them together to build these huge, complicated ideas? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today, that amazing journey from the basic building blocks of language to the massive concepts that shape our world. Let's get into it.
So it all starts with a question, right? Something like this. You've got tank, a physical thing, a container, and then you have think tank, this powerhouse of policy and research. How in the world do we make that jump? That's the mystery we're unraveling today, watching how language grows and changes.
So here's the game plan. We're going to start small with the words we use for our own thoughts and feelings. Then we'll jump into the world of work. After that, we'll tackle the really big, abstract ideas, and we'll finish up with the powerful language that runs our whole society.
All right, first up, let's look inward. How do we even begin to describe that super complex mix of emotions, ideas, and connections that make us who we are?
Okay, take a word like significant. It's pretty straightforward. It just means important. A significant discovery, a significant event. But then you add that one little word other, and boom, it completely transforms. It's not just something important anymore, it's someone. The most important someone. It takes the meaning to a whole new level. This one's a fantastic example of that leap from the physical world to the one inside our heads. We all know what a stream is, water flowing. But then you attach of consciousness to it, and suddenly you've got this perfect metaphor for how our thoughts just wander and flow, one idea spilling into the next. It's brilliant. And once you start looking for it, you see this pattern everywhere. Think about it. A support group isn't physically holding anything up. It's holding people up emotionally. A steady relationship isn't just about not falling over. It's about being reliable and constant. We grab these simple words and give them this incredible new depth when we talk about each other. Okay, so this idea of combining words to create something new, it definitely doesn't stop with our personal lives. It's a huge part of the world of work, too. We spend a massive chunk of our lives working, so it's no wonder we've come up with a whole special language just for it. The lingo of careers, business, and trying to get ahead.
And some of this work language is just so vivid. A shell, right? It's empty, hollow, just an outer layer. So a shell company is exactly that. A business that's all facade, an empty structure used for some pretty complex money moves. You get that mental image instantly. It's powerful stuff.
Then you've got something like supply chain. Supply and chain are super basic words, but put them together and you're describing this gigantic global network. It's a literal chain of events that gets something from a raw material all the way into your hands. It's the language that makes our entire economy tick.
And let's be real, the language of work can be seriously high stakes. We don't just mess up, we commit career suicide. A job doesn't just end, it's an employment termination. These phrases really show you just how serious and structured our professional lives can be.
So this leads us to a really big question. We've talked personal, we've talked professional, but what happens when these ideas get even bigger, when they get organized on a massive scale? Well, that's when we get into the language of pure thought, the words we use to talk about, thinking itself.
And here we are, full circle, back to our first question. A tank holds a resource, like fuel or water. So, a think tank? It's a container for what might be our most valuable resource of all, ideas. It's a place where thoughts are gathered up, worked on, and stored, all ready to be used to solve huge problems. Makes perfect sense now, right?
Here's another great one. Think about the surface of the ocean. It's just the top layer. All the deep, complex stuff is hidden underneath. Surface-level thinking is the exact same idea. It's when you're just skimming the top of an issue, not diving into what's really going on below. And you see this everywhere with ideas. Advice isn't just good, it's sound, like it's built on a solid foundation. Expertise isn't just skill, it's technical know-how. We're always creating these little labels to sort and define all the different kinds of knowledge out there.
Okay, and this is where it all gets taken to the next level. Because when these big ideas are picked up and used by huge groups, by governments, by institutions, they start to create the very systems that control our lives.
Which brings us to our final stop, the language of power and control. These are the words we use to describe how entire societies are run, managed, and, commanded.
Just feel the power in this one. A shadow, it follows the real thing. It mimics it, but it's dark, and you can't quite grab it.
A shadow government captures that feeling perfectly. This idea of a hidden layer of power working behind the scenes, away from public view, it's an incredibly effective and kind of chilling term. And just notice the massive change in scale here. Surveillance, on its own, that's usually about watching one person, a suspect. But you add the word state, and the whole meaning just explodes. It's not about one person anymore. It's about a system for watching everyone. And that completely changes the game between a government and its people.
The language of authority really doesn't pull any punches, does it? Phrases like government shutdown, scare tactic, superior firepower, they are incredibly direct. They describe these huge, complex things, political failure, manipulation, warfare, in a way that hits you immediately.
So, from our deepest feelings to our global systems, it's clear that we use words to literally build our reality. These phrases aren't just descriptions, they're like the blueprints for how we understand everything. And that leaves me with one last thought for you. Language builds worlds. What world are you building with yours? Thanks for watching.